Hey everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of Fostering Growth. My name's Laura and I'm here with a really great friend of mine.
My name is Sam. Hello everyone.
And today's topic is one that is very close to both of our hearts. It is the introduction to self-love and/or self-care. We wanted to begin with the question of what does self-love and self-care mean to each one of us, and I guess self-love for myself is learning to love myself and learning to help myself and give myself that energy that I give to help others. For a very long time, I have always reached out. I have always helped, my younger siblings, my younger cousins, my mother, my aunts, my uncles, everyone. And it just, it doesn't let me focus on myself. It doesn't let me focus on my success, on, I have so much to work for, going back to school, being a single mother. I just can't put that energy where I want it to because everybody else is absorbing it. And of course, I love to help, but there comes a time when you have to draw the line and
you have to help yourself in order to help others.
Exactly. And I need to learn how to do that. So self-love would be, for example, creating a vision board. Remember I talked about a vision board?
Yes.
So I'll go more into detail in a little bit, but it's kind of like putting my small goals on that board, and one of them is taking care of myself,
Yes.
And so I feel that if I put all of that energy, I'll actually be able to bloom into something so much more. Because a lot of people tell me, oh my God, how do you do it? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you stay so positive and bubbly? Because I'm not a positive person. I am not. But
isn't that how it works though? That like you're not the most bubbly person, but when I think about Laura, it's like bubbly, positive, great things. But then you may not feel that way. But that's one of the things that you could work on.
Yeah.
Because you think that way.
Exactly. And it's really important for myself to learn that, to actually be able to pat myself on the back and say, hey, you're doing an amazing job, because I don't feel like that. And then comes to self-care, where I have to take care of myself.
Yes.
Mentally, physically, emotionally, especially emotionally.
Oh, yes. All the ways.
It's something that I really want to focus on, creating kind of like a routine. Can be a skincare routine, or it can be a gym routine, workout.
Eating. Getting more than one meal a day.
Eating vegetables, Sam. And now that
I'm eating more than one meal a day. We're focusing on yourself right now, Laura.
No, but really, it does. Self-care also, eating is really, I have really bad eating habits. And I mean, it comes to say that my friends would Uber me food just so I could eat.
But it's not because you don't want to. It's just because you have such a busy life and you were taking care of so many people at the same time that you, or at least that's how I saw it from the outside, that you just forgot about normal things.
The main character.
Exactly. So that's a good one, because like you said, you've been taking care of so many people and so many things that you really forgot about yourself. So
yeah, it's something that, again, I really want to focus on. Learning that self-love, giving myself those props, and then learning that self-care, giving myself, sometimes I pamper myself here and there, like I've gotten my hair done or getting my nails done, but it's just something that when I think about it, I'm like, I shouldn't do it. Like, it's not worth the time.
Girl, it happens. Like, you feel guilty almost, like spending money on yourself, or not just money, but like,
I don't feel guilty spending money.
I'm trying to get in your routine. But I'm just saying that, like, if it's for you, you feel bad. But if it were for Baby G, or if it were for your siblings, you would be like,
oh yeah, it's fine. $30, here you go.
There you go. Nothing.
No, but I think those are, it means that I love myself, and when I look in the mirror, I really don't love what I see, even though I should, and I really need to work on that self-love, that self-care, to take care of myself, because again, like you mentioned, how am I going to take care of others or help others if I don't help myself first.
Exactly. So for me, self-love means that like you were saying, that you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like what you see. I need to work on that. I need to, with therapy, I need to work towards looking at myself in the mirror, or just going to a store, seeing clothes that I like, and not being afraid of being like, you know what, I like it, I'm gonna wear it, and I'm gonna look great, and I'm gonna be a fearless diva, you know? Like, that's what I want to get to with self-love. To love myself. To look at myself in the mirror and being like, I like what I see. It may not be my ideal, but I will work on that. And that goes into self-care, which is, yes, you exposed me earlier, but I need to start eating vegetables and like eating healthy, because I've never known how to my entire life. So that could be one. And then also taking care of myself by going to therapy, because so many things have happened in life that, let's admit it, we're not all pretty great out there, you know. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate that we're not fully good up here, but it can work out. It can be worked on by going to therapy, by going exercise, by reading a book, by doing things that are not just being on the phone.
Yeah.
Or not just tormenting yourself with other things.
Binging The Office for the 20th time.
Girl, Parks and Rec, hello.
I know, it's honestly, it takes time. Some people expect it to happen overnight or in a week. And I mean, even sometimes where I wake up and I have this like boost of energy, and then the next day I wake up and I'm just back on my
You're totally drained.
Depression mode. Just wanted to stay in bed.
Which, it's fine to have those days. We just have to make it a priority to not let that mood rule over your life.
Yeah, we just can't let ourselves stay there. It's okay to be in that position, just don't stay there. And I think that's a lot of the same advice that a lot of friends have told me. Like, it's okay, you know, feel your feelings. It's something that you're going through. It's a grieving process.
Yes.
I mean, it's not gonna go away. You just have to kind of learn to live with it. And I mean, it has been about 2 months, so I'm still kind of trying to climb out of that little hole that I got myself into.
And it's not gonna go right away. Like, look at me. My mom has been gone for 11 years. And, oh God, it sounds so crazy to say 11 years. But it has been. And you just learn how to live with it. That's the most honest thing I can tell you. You just learn how to live with it. Yes, you have your days where you're like, I miss her. But at the end of the day, you become a stronger person by learning how to deal with it. Because nobody gives you a book of like, here's the book of grieving. This is where it's going to happen. No, because healing is not linear. And I learned that a little bit ago. And that helped me, and that made me like feel better about any process. Because like you said, one day you're boost with energy and you're all happy and I want to clean my house and all that, and then the next
just
day,
one part of my house, I'm sorry.
nobody said the entire house. Nobody does that. But then the next day you're like, life sucks, I just want to stay in bed, I want to Uber eat some chips because I don't even want to go to the corner store to get any chips.
Yeah,
but it happens, and it's life, and it's okay. Like, I really want to kind of not end this stigma, because I know that this is not going to be like, yeah, do it. Like, it's not a campaign. But it's like, I do want for people to know that it is okay to not be okay. And it is okay to like be like, you know what? Life sucks. I'm okay and I'm trying, but life sucks. Like, you know, I don't know. It's just, I feel like sometimes we're portrayed as these sad people. And it's always like, you're always sad. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to not be sad.
It's not.
It's a process.
Yeah. You wake up one day and the next you could be really, really bad. And then again, you wake up the third day and you're like, oh, life is good again.
Life is great. Where is everyone? I'm going to go to the corner store myself to get the chips. Like, you know, and that's okay too.
It's just, I feel a lot of people need to learn that though too, because again, we're portrayed as humans trying to conquer the world, or some people are like, no, I got this, I don't need the help, or are afraid to even ask for help. I mean, even with me, like, it's not that I'm afraid to ask for help, it's just that since I was young, like, I've had to do so many things by myself that it's a habit not asking for help, not reaching out to my friends saying,
I
hey,
got it, as usual.
Exactly. And even, I mean, now with this podcast, like, I'm reaching out to a lot of friends and even telling them, like, hey, like, would you like to be a part of it? Like come and talk to me on the podcast. Let me interview you. No, but
let me talk to you and have people hear
just,
you.
yeah, like, I wanted to, you know, I think it says rekindle connections. Is that how you would say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, there's a lot of people in my life that made such a big impact. And because life happens, you know, you drift apart. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys, you know, left on bad terms. Like, for example, I just kind of started talking again to one of my friends, Christina, and I used to live with her. Like, we used to roommate in the same house. Like, I was renting one room and she was renting the other. And, you know, I think we lived together for like a couple of months, almost a year. And we really got close to each other, you know. And then now that, you know, she moved away and then she's coming back and her life is just taking her in different directions.
Yeah.
It's really nice to like rekindle and ask for that help, not necessarily of like, hey, can you help me with my mental, you know, stability, but more of like, hey, you know, I would like to be more active. Or even when I asked you, like, I want to go to the gym, let's go to the gym together. You know, it's just asking for little things like that, of trying to get out of the house, or, you know, just spending a good time with a friend, going for lunch, going for a coffee, anything. And I think that that's a great way to open up, you know, to people and accept love that comes to you, and then you kind of learn to form it into yourself.
Yes.
One of the kind of, there's 3 basic things that I would like to focus on, you know, when it comes to self-love. It would be mind, body, and soul. And there's a list that I have where I kind of wrote down a couple things that I could do, you know, for my mind. And one of them that I mentioned before was a vision board. I'm a very visual person. Creating a vision board for me would really let me see my goals, you know, waking up and seeing, all right, I gotta get my shit together. Yes. I gotta, you know, focus on my school, my, again, body, but just setting those goals. And even for future goals, for example, I once saw a Range Rover drive next to me and I fell in love. And I was like, whoa, I never had that feeling before, other than like a Jeep. I've always wanted a Jeep.
That's my dream one. A big Rubicon.
So like, you know, just having like a picture of that on my vision board, of being like, you know, work hard and one day you'll have that. Another thing would be, you know, a house. I want to have a house where I have a studio. I mean, maybe I can continue with this podcast thing there, but also I kind of want to open, you know, my little shop on the side, which yes. Under construction for like 20 years already. But again, with the vision board, like I can just put pictures, affirmations, putting, you know, just the important things that I really want to focus on.
But we're doing realistic goals.
Oh, that's true.
Realistic. We can start with, how about this? We start with a realistic 5-year vision board. And then you can have a bigger one.
Hey, who says that it's not realistic that in the next 5 vision I'm gonna get a Range Rover, girl?
I'm not saying it isn't.
And in the next 3 I'm trying to get a house.
Oh my God. No. You just killed me. Goodbye.
No, but I do understand. We did say that we wanted to make it a realistic goals.
Yes.
I guess I wanted to do that. We can do realistic and motivation.
Motivational
like,
and realistic.
Like it's realistic goals, for example, of me finishing school. I mean,
yes.
that's in the next 5 years.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to finish school and get in that career. You know? Don't look at me like that. And then motivational of like, again, the picture of that Range Rover. Of like, yes. You know, it's just kind of working towards the goals. Whatever motivates you. I guess that's why I started mentioning those different things. But I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. Let's take a couple steps back.
I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I never said that. I'm just saying that, like, it would be a lot more, like, because I don't want you to torture yourself by being like, I gotta have that house, I gotta have that Range Rover. It's like, okay, in my vision board, I would have, I don't know, a gym, and like what maybe what I want to do if I want to move to another apartment, like a nice picture of an industrial loft. I would have like vegetables, to eat vegetables. I know.
I just pictured like a border of vegetables.
The VeggieTales.
Fruit of the Loom.
Like, yes. This is all the vegetables I could find.
No, you're gonna look at vegetables here and be like, all right, this is the vegetables I have to try. And then you'll put like an egg if you didn't like it.
An eggplant, a broccoli, no zucchinis in this house. And carrots. I've always wanted to try carrots.
I can't believe you said you're gonna put vegetables on your vision board.
Yes, stop making fun of me.
No, I didn't expect that.
Because it's a goal. Like, it's always been a goal because I want to be healthy. Oh, you know what? A salad. Not vegetables. A salad.
Okay. Oh, a lettuce. Just a lettuce.
A happy lettuce. I will eat you, baby girl. It's fine.
I mean... All right, we're going to move on. Moving on to our next segment of body, self-love for my body. I wrote down another 5 little things, and I think that I wanted to go with trying relaxing yoga or empowering workouts. Because, again, I have meditated, I have tried to, sit down and center myself, but recently, like, I just kind of got out of it. Like, I didn't really practice it as much as I should. And again, I still am, but I'm going through that rough patch that I'm just trying to get out of. Again, I'm climbing out of the little hole. And so trying the relaxing yoga, to get that habit back in there, stretch out, especially like where working, I work basically at a desk in a sense, and so like I've been feeling a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders, and stress and pain and all that. It really is for me important for me to stretch, because it brings me down. Like I feel the pain, I feel the discomfort, and I just want to be in bed. I don't want to get up and do things because I'm like, oh, my neck and things like that. And so I think stretching and doing my yoga back will kind of make me a little less tense, again, practicing the breathing and peaceful centering myself. I think it really is going to help me with also, my goals and being able to think clearly and focus. And then empowering workouts. I keep telling myself I'm gonna work out here in my house, which is a lie, because my bed
doesn't happen.
Is next, right here, calling me. So one of the things that I proposed to you is joining the gym together.
Which I said yes, for the record.
You. And again, it's something that we have to start little by little. We're not gonna get in there and start benching 200 pounds. I can bench my kid, but I
can bench my dog.
But I can't bench,
No.
But it's just little by little, getting into that routine. I think that the word routine is going to be big in my vocabulary, because it's, again, a self-care routine for my skin, for my body, workouts, little things like that I know that will help me and kind of give me that energy,
Yes, which is good.
Mm-hmm. It's something that I really need, because I guess my day is just upside down since I work graveyard and then I'm asleep in the daytime.
Girl, yes.
I don't even get that vitamin D or the sun.
Ryan, cut this. Well, we are not getting that vitamin D. I'm getting sun. Just that kidding.
No, but seriously, even going outside, getting some fresh air and some, sun, it's just something that I need to start doing again. I feel like a vampire. Team Edward, but
yes.
I think once we get into, the habit of lifting each other up, going to the gym together, or I mean, we both have kind of busy lives. There might be a week that we can't, go together or whatever. We can just kind of replace it with, you have your dog, I have my dog. We just walk the dogs and things like that, where it doesn't necessarily be like, oh, I missed today to go to the gym, I'm not going to do anything. Like, it's always like a replacement. Like, do something here at home again.
And make sure we're accountable, like, to each other.
It's really something that if we put your mind into it, you can do it. It's hard. It's, something that some people, you're like, I don't want to do it today. We'll do it tomorrow. But accountability,
and that's okay,
really
but don't make it a habit.
Again, every day is different, but pushing yourself is something that, I mean, I need to do, and I know that you need to do.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but when you really want something...
But it's not impossible.
When you really want something, like, anything is possible. Just gotta believe. And lastly, but not least, the soul that I don't have.
We don't. Well, your souls don't.
Yeah, so I guess for soul, I just started thinking about my... I mean, I kind of wanted to say kind of like the inside out, like joy. Like, that's what I started about, like, thinking about my emotions. Like, my soul is a combination of my emotions, of how I express myself. And we've talked about this, how I'm bubbly and positive.
Different Pixar movie.
Sorry. It's just, I started thinking about how I'm not nice to myself, and I really want to change that. And so one of the things that I picked for soul is creating loving and positive affirmations for myself, and like sticking them everywhere that I am. My bathroom, my kitchen, my car, my room, everywhere. In the shower, everywhere. To just kind of have that reminder. And I'm a big quotes person, to be honest. As cheesy as it sounds, I don't care. I'm a big quotes person.
No, she is. Stalk her and stalk every picture.
I make my own quotes.
Has a quote.
But sometimes there's those quotes that actually get to you, that actually like really feel it's the right combination of words, that it clicked, that you're like, oh my God, like, I feel good just reading this,
What's the quote that you think has impacted you the most?
I think the ones that's most, and I mean, it's really popular, but it's one that has impacted me because I've seen when I repeat it to myself that it actually helps me. And it's the one that says, she believed she could. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, she believed she could.
So she did.
So she did. Yeah. So that's how I've always been. Like, I know I can do it, and then I do it. And the thing isn't that I know that I can't do things or do things, but it's that I don't give myself that, oh my God, you did it.
The credit that you should.
I mean, again, a couple years ago, I was renting, a room, and then I went to, living with my partner at the time. When I had a baby G, it was kind of back to square one when, I separated, and then I had to live with an uncle and my cousin. And it kind of felt like square one again, because I didn't have my own place. I didn't have, I mean, I did have the support, but I didn't have the financial support to be like, oh, I'm going to roommate with somebody. Like, it was just all on me. And when I got my first apartment, it felt really good. But when I go back to it, I never really felt like, oh my God, I did it. It was more of like, well, I have an apartment and now I have to kind of like pay it, paycheck to paycheck.
I did it, now I have to like support it, and now I have to keep it.
And then, again, now I live in a 2-bedroom and it's a bigger space, and I did it, but I don't feel like I did it because I don't give myself that credit. I don't give myself like, oh my God, look at how far you've come. And people tell me like, you're doing great. Kim Kardashian,
you are.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
There you go. I think that I will get to it little by little, but
it doesn't happen overnight.
It's the whole point of, beginning this podcast as well. I'm learning to take care of myself. I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to give myself that credit. Because if I don't, then who else is? Who's gonna come and tell you every single day, you're doing it, your own personal cheerleader? Like, yes, your friends are always there supporting you.
Of course.
But everybody goes through it differently.
But at the end of the day, you are you and you are yourself.
And you need to push yourself. You need to pick yourself up. Because again, you can't wait for anybody. Oh, there's that other quote too. She needed a hero, so she became one.
I haven't heard that one in years. Okay, going back to what you said about the apartment thing, that you don't give yourself enough credit. You should. Because I remember that apartment you used to live, I think it was in Chula, something like that. The one that I went to. Huh?
I've lived to so many places.
Girl, I know. The one that I went to.
Okay.
And now seeing where you are, it really is like, dude, you did it. Like, you did it. And then it's like, it's so cool how we as friends like see it from the outside, but you don't see it. Because like, you saw where I was. Like, when I was in the army, it was like, yeah, I have a place, whatever. Then I, with my old partner, and then separated. And then I, like you said, you were back in square one. And I felt like I was in square one when I had to go back. Like, when I separated, I had to go back with my family. It really felt like I failed. But then now seeing that I have my own apartment in a really nice area, it's like...
Exactly. I remember when you were telling me that too. You're like, oh, I got an apartment. And I'm like, oh my God. And you're just like, yeah, I guess so. And you're like, well, like excuse me.
Like, it's small, but it's just like, that's my home and that's what I have. And to me, it just seemed like I need to get a place because I need somewhere to live and I need my privacy, blah, blah, blah. But you don't really see it from like how it is, because it was an accomplishment. Like, for you to get this place, it was a huge accomplishment. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, yes. But then you don't see it that way. So we need to work on that.
I know. Okay. This next segment is something that I mentioned before, part of my, New Year personal resolutions. And it's just basically kind of getting rid of one bad habit, but I have plenty of them. So I'll just like pick and choose, But I think one of the things that have really affected me is, having that bad habit of kind of looking at somebody and instead of being inspired by them, it's more of like oh, I don't look like her, or I'm not as successful as her.
Seeing yourself reflect, like comparing yourself.
Yeah, comparing yourself. And I mean, it's normal. Like, we're human beings. It's normal to look at somebody, especially like high school friends that are out and about, either already graduated or already in their careers, or some of them are already getting married. And I skipped a step, but I got I got a kid. And it's just everybody goes their own different path.
It's their own time, and I literally just saw a TikTok about that it was like, here I am in my car eating a McChicken with 2 cents in my bank account, and in the meantime, one of my classmates was giving a speech at the UN, and it's like you're
crying in the car now,
yes.
eating your
and it's okay because everybody has their own time, so it's not bad.
Yeah, like people need to understand that we're all on our own little timeline, that everybody is gonna, progress in a different way. And again, life happens. Life happens to everybody.
Not everybody had the same upbringing. Not everybody has the same opportunities. And
the same support system.
That's what I was about to say.
No, because I feel like especially comparing yourself to others, like it really like blocks your thought process, and it doesn't make you strive for your success. Again, you're striving to be like that person instead of striving to better yourself, to be on the same level. It's okay to be on the same level, but it's not okay to be like, oh my God, fulana mangana ya tiene su casa. I'm over here in my 1-bedroom apartment and we graduated the same year. But then again, you look back and you're like, well, that person, not to target anybody saying like, oh, because they have their family,
No,
but it's because it's true. Yeah,
like you're never going to compare a kid who was lucky enough to have both supportive parents who maybe have had like, I'm not going to say that they were rich, but that they had a normal life. It's not going to be the same as
air quotes, normal.
Normal, because nobody's ever normal. Like,
yeah, like
is normal?
My life is normal for me, again, because I've lived like this my whole life.
Your whole
that's
life.
my normal. So I think that it's really important to, again, not compare yourself to the standard of, oh, I need to be exactly like her or better. It's more of like, what can I do to get there? And like, that makes you look into yourself and into your, bad habits that you have that you need to change, because a lot of it, for example, for me, it's like my bad habits are also what's keeping me from my success.
Oh, of course. But it's because, like, again, it's because you've grown up like that, and it's not that you don't know better, it's just that you never really had the opportunity to be like, let me just take a break, or like, I don't know, in my case, it's really like, oh, well, since I was without parents at such a young age, I probably missed a couple of these things, and that's why I'm not in the same spot as they are. But it's okay because I'm here, like, that's one of the things that you should tell yourself, that I may not be where they are, but I am here and I am okay. So that could be one of the little tiny things. Like, I'm not excusing it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for your own peace of mind.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, it's just, everybody has that different upbringing, and it really does affect who we become.
It really does.
And people don't see that sometimes, and other people just say like, oh, well, you were lucky enough to have your parents, and like, you target them like, oh, like, pues tú, it's not about that. It's about helping each other, supporting each other, lifting each other up. Yes, some people are more lucky than others, more fortunate, but that doesn't mean that they're always going to have the better life. You can change a lot of things to have a better life.
You can have an amazing life by yourself. You just have to learn, like, healthy coping mechanisms. You have to learn healthy ways of going around life by yourself without hurting anybody in the process. I don't know. It's hard, but it's not impossible.
But it's not impossible. Yeah. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to go down a little list that I have, that I, have my bad habits. And I did a little bit of research. My research is all based on Pinterest. I'm sorry.
Of course.
Resources. But I did find a kind of a way to like swap bad habits. Like, there's other choices, Okay. For example, one of the habits to change of myself is waking up and checking the phone. Like, everybody does that. Everybody wakes up and automatically goes on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's something that also, for example, you put your alarm so you can wake up, you turn off your alarm. What do? You check your phone.
Even if it's dry.
Even if there's no messages.
You're do.
Like, what's going on in the world?
Or maybe the app just messed up and didn't tell me that I have no notifications.
But it gives us that like feeling of connection though too, because it's like you wake up and you can message 10 friends at a time. Just reply to messages and you're like, oh, I connected with 10 people today. Again, it's nothing bad. It's nothing that you're like, oh, don't do it. Don't wake up and look at your phone. It's just my habit of doing that. Like, I'll just stay in bed on my phone on TikTok for the next hour when I'm supposed to get up. Yeah. Sorry. Honestly, the new habit that I saw on Pinterest, again, I'm not trying to be 100% following the rules. It did said journal and tea time. I don't know about journaling. Sometimes I do journal. I've done it when I was younger. I would journal about dumb stuff. But again, it's a coping mechanism for different people. I know a lot of people that like to journal. They like to take. They like to jot down their day, kind of what they went through. Sometimes it's like feelings, like I was feeling like this and that. So if you have a journal and works for you, great, 100%. I back you up. For myself personally, I don't always journal, but there's times that I do feel like just writing, my feelings, or like trying to like get out of a blockage, because sometimes again I don't feel the motivation and I'm just like, what can I do? And then I'll start writing. I like to write. I like to read and I like to write. As nerdy as that sounds.
It's not.
But I'm just gonna continue back to where that, journaling is something good for people.
Yes.
And for other people, it just doesn't work. So again.
Or there's different types of journaling too. Like some people use Twitter. Some people just put it out in a Facebook
multimedia.
thing. Like social media.
I use Tumblr. Oh, there you go. That's
I use Twitter.
I use Tumblr.
So there you go.
Please don't look for me on Tumblr. It's very private, personal.
I already have a lot of people looking at my Twitter. Don't be one of them,
please. No, but another thing that I kind of wanted to do more, because I've done it a couple of times. I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh, I wake up and drink tea, because I don't. But I do drink tea. Like I'll drink tea before work. Kind of boosts the energy. I started drinking green tea with pomegranate. Yeah, and it's. I mean, I know pomegranate. I'm sorry, I hate that word. Pomegranate. So. Yeah, it has good antioxidants, and it's really good, for your system. I don't even know if it's a fruit, right? I don't like the fruit. I don't like eating it, and I know it stains your clothes too, so they're always like, be careful with it. Mm-hmm. But I'll have it in my tea. It tastes pretty good. I tried green tea by itself, and it was, I guess, hard for me to like wanna keep drinking it. And then I tried the lemon, and then I tried like with ginger and things like that. And I think the pomegranate is the one that won ultimately. Another thing, or actually another bad habit, is skipping breakfast, and I have to change that. Ooh. And yes, sometimes it's not a choice. Sometimes it's, I'm busy on the go.
Most of the time it's not a choice.
Yeah. I'm just busy on the go, trying to run away from my problems. I mean, trying to solve my problems. And it's a bad habit, though, because it's something that I consistently keep doing. And some people say it gives you a sense of control. Like, for example, if you're intentionally skipping breakfast, it's the sense of control. But it's not. Breakfast is supposed to be the most important meal of the day.
I still don't understand why.
And again, some of us are not very good at it. Mm-mm. And so one of the, new habits would be drinking a nutritious smoothie, just kind of getting your fruits in there. I like to do chocomil with banana.
More chocomil than banana.
And more chocomil. Sometimes I've done like strawberry banana smoothies. I like strawberry banana as well. I've heard some people like even put like oatmeal in their smoothies, things like that. And it's just, again, you do the research and it's there. Like to do any type of different smoothies, mango smoothies, strawberry smoothies, even green smoothies for the like super healthy freaks out there.
Okay.
But I know that I've been wanting to at least, do that. So I bought I think it's called Oster's, that little, it's a blender, but it's the ones that come with the cup, you blend it, and then you just put the top on the cup. Like you don't even have to transfer it. But yeah, I got one of those to make it easier for me to be like, okay, I just make the smoothie, put it all together, and then just put the top and let's go. Slowly but surely, I'm sure that hopefully that becomes a good habit. From not being able to make myself breakfast, I'll be able to make a smoothie and take it on the go, since I'm always on the go. Mm-hmm. I know that recently I have the time to maybe wake up and make myself breakfast, but I guess for me, my breakfast time is like after 2 p.m. because I work graveyard and I get off of work at basically 5 in the morning and I sleep. And how am I, I mean, I wake up and it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm hungry, but then I start getting hungry by like 2 to 3 p.m. So I'll still have my, eggs and bacon breakfast. But when I have to wake up and either go to the doctor or go take my son with his dad and things like that, like it's just kind of like, all right, get a smoothie really quick and let's go. Usually I run errands after that. And that would also make me stop from buying so much fast food because...
Yes, that is one of my bad habits. To stop, one of my goals, bad habits, whatever you want to call it, is to stop buying outside food so much and start cooking more. Because I know that I have all the tuppers in my house. I know I have like 3 lunch bags. I have it all. I'm just lazy or I'm just not in the mood to cook. For me, it's like easier because I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, even though I start work at 8. It's because I have to cross the border. So to me, it's like really like, do I sleep or do I get up, start cooking, wash dishes, all of that, so I can have a meal? So I'm like, you know what? It's easier to just order out whenever I'm at work at my lunchtime, which is 12:30, and then I'll be fine. But then that is a really bad habit because then I don't have a normal, regular, like, meal schedule, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I never have that.
Yeah.
So
same.
That's one of the things that I have to change, which is at least have a little bit of breakfast. Something, even if it's a bagel.
Yeah.
Even if it's an English muffin with like, I don't know.
I have a little toaster oven. I can do like, some toasted butter and my smoothie.
I have those at work, so I should start packing those. Like, it's not hard. It's just, you don't put yourself in that mentality, so you're just like, you know what, I'm just not gonna do it.
I'll go get something home. It's fine. No, yeah, you're right. It's hard enough to get up in the morning and go do things when you're in a certain, mindset, but it also takes a lot to change it and to be like, you know what, I deserve better than this. I should give myself better than this. Why is it possible that, for example, like, I do get up and I'll like make, my son breakfast, or because he's in school and he's like, Mom, I'm hungry, and I'm just like dead. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll make him breakfast, I'll give him a snack and things like that, but I can't do that for myself
because you don't feel like it. Same thing. Like, I wake up early, and that's also another thing. My own other bad habit is to start waking up a little bit earlier in the weekend, because since I wake up so early during the week, I'm like, over the weekend, I'm like, you know what, if I don't have brunch, or if I don't have an appointment, or if I don't have something to do, I just lay in my bed until it's 2 p.m.
Yeah.
But I wake up at 8 or 9. Exactly. Because that way I'm skipping a meal. And it's not because I'm like, okay, I want to. It's because I'm lazy that I don't want to get up and make myself breakfast. Even though I get up early, 8 or 9, to take out Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have gotten up from our beds to do multiple things, but it's never like, okay, I'm gonna do breakfast for myself, or I'm gonna kind of like, it's a little treat yourself. You're nourishing your body.
Even if you feel like it's like, why am I doing this? And the long run is gonna be a lot better for us and our bodies, and like, you're even gonna feel a little bit accomplished.
Yeah.
That, like, I made myself some breakfast. Like, it's kind of like
it's just breakfast.
Yes.
Again, it doesn't have to be breakfast. It could be like dinner. Okay, I skipped breakfast, I did this, like, you know what, I'm gonna plan a good dinner. It doesn't have to be a big dinner. It just has to be, a home cooked meal, and
but like a good one, like your
like,
meat,
it's a sense of accomplishment, like
rice or pasta or whatever, like beans, whatever you want to, but make it a good elaborate meal.
Yeah. And I think also one of like the little cheatings that I've done, for example, I am in this group for a podcast that I listen to, and they did like a Secret Santa. With COVID and everything, obviously we would order things on Amazon and then send them as gifts with their, information. And in my little lists, I did put like a couple of like super simple like cookbooks. And I was like, maybe this is going to help me, motivate me. Instead of having to be looking on YouTube or whatnot, I'll just have a cookbook and it'll have a lot of different options. And I'll be like, yes, like, and I got lucky actually, because the girl that got me as my Secret Santa ordered me the book, which is the Harry Potter one, remember? Oh, the Harry Potter cookbook.
Which she's not going to have anymore.
But you look inside the little cookbook and you're like, oh my God, this sounds good. Or, and it's easier to go to the store and buy those ingredients instead of going to the store and spending like $200 on like so many fruits and vegetables and like different foods that
you're not going to use and that they're going to stay in the fridge because you never had an idea on what to do, or you got lazy.
Yeah, exactly. And so I have started to do that. Like, I'll look at the little cookbook and I'll be like, okay, what do I need? What are the ingredients? Okay, I'm gonna go. Food for Less is right down the freaking street. I'll go get, pick it up
right there
and then come back home and do it. Again, with my schedule, it's a little bit difficult, but at least if I can start on Saturdays, Saturday is like my whole day off. Like, what's the excuse of not, doing a home cooked meal on Saturdays? To start getting into that habit.
Exactly.
So that's kind of like a little mini goal.
Little by little.
On my vision board.
Yes.
Another habit that this one, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, especially now with the pandemic, are going to, a lot of people are going to be like, yep, that's me, is spending money on things I don't need.
No!
And it boosts our mood. That's what it gives us.
It really
boosts our
does.
mood. That's what it is. You buy something and you're like, oh, I'm going to get something in the mail. And I mean, I don't even want to like put myself out there, but I can't go to Target. I can't go to Target and get one or two things. I just can't, because I like to browse. And then I love to browse the like $1 section. So, I mean, when you get like 20 things there, it's only $20. But then it's 20 things that I bring back to my house, and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do with these? So, I think the new habit, which again, I wouldn't mind doing that. I've stopped my shopping sprees. I have, yes. It's been a while.
Proud of you.
Thank you. I did realize that it was a bad thing. It really is. And I was like, no, I'm going to start putting that extra money that I would have been spending at Target and saving it for when COVID leaves and vacations come back. I've been wanting to go on vacation for such a long time, and I always have an excuse of like, well, it's because I can't because of this. I can't because of that. And there cannot be no more excuses. No. There has to be a way that I work towards that goal of like, I want to travel. Yes, I had, my son at a young age, and that did kind of, hold me back. Well, I don't want to leave him, for a whole week or something. And again, it's now that he's getting older, it's a little bit easier. It kind of eases my mind of like, well, he'll understand that, I didn't leave him forever. Yes. Like, it's just, I'm going on a little vacation.
Plus, and he's going to like right to
stay with his dad
little...
or, with his grandparents.
Yes.
And, again, it would be the same thing. Like, if his dad wanted to go on vacation, he would have his parents, or like I would take care of the baby. Like, it's kind of like a give and take,
Yes.
And I know that I'll be able to not feel so guilty about wanting to go on vacation without my son, because again, he's young. It freaks me out to go to a new place, not only have to take care of myself in this new place that I don't know, exploring things and everything, but then having my son is just kind of like well, what if something happens?
Yeah.
And sadly, that's the world we live in. And so that's why I rather travel without him in the beginning. And then eventually he's going to be my little buddy coming on my adventures too. I want to show him the world. It's not about me going to see the world and him staying behind. It's more of like, I haven't really even seen the world or know how things work. And I would like to have that experience before I put my child in that, in that space of what am I supposed to do if something happens,
And like I was going to say earlier, it's okay to have your little free time for yourself, because that's healthy. Because if you're in the same environment, if you are looking at the same things over and over, you get tired.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe having that little me time is going to give you like energy. You're going to come back more like, okay, now I'm going to be a little bit more motivated to work harder, because now I want to take you with me to the place that I just went to,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't ever mean that you don't want to take him, or that you don't want him to be by your side, or it obviously never translates as I'm a bad mother. It's just you need your free time, and that's okay.
No, yeah, definitely. Again, it's just I've took care of so many people all the time, and I feel like taking care of myself is also giving myself those, good things in life of like, I've been wanting to do this, I should, be able to do it.
Exactly.
So hopefully, that changing of, okay, instead of spending this money, I'm going to save it. It's definitely going to help me out in the long run. I'm going to be able to save money. And I mean, not necessarily be like, oh, this is only money for vacation. I'm going to need emergency money someday, especially COVID. I can get from those savings. I don't have to feel like, oh my God, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. It's like, no, I have like a little savings on the back, like kind of to fall back on. Next little habit that I want to, kind of leave off on is coming home after work. It's 5 a.m. and trying to binge watch TV when in reality I know that I should be sleeping. And sometimes it just feels like that's the only like free time that I have, and that I'm, again, in the daytime I'm trying to catch up on sleep because I feel like I don't sleep well. And then I get home, and instead of going to sleep, I can't sleep. So then I just start watching TV until I supposedly like get tired, and then, okay, I'll go to sleep. And so obviously we do get that, pleasure of watching TV, relaxation. You get home, and after a long day at work, you just kind of want to have your mind, I don't know, it's just something that makes me feel accomplished in life. Like, she motivates me, I'm like, oh, she's strong. No, but in reality, like, I do tend to like binge watch TV, at least like 3 episodes. And sometimes when an episode is like 30 minutes long, that's already an hour and a half that you could have gone to sleep.
You could be sleeping.
And so instead of doing that, like, the habit I've been wanting to do is kind of, get home and either do a like simple workout. If I do have a lot of energy, like, I'll do a workout, which I doubt because sometimes I am tired. But I also wanted to start reading again.
Yes.
And, start getting into that habit. Which is funny. I have a book. It's called Atomic Habits. And it's basically kind of to help you like change your habits. And I believe that I've heard this multiple times, that it takes 21 days to like
pick up a habit. Yes, that is correct.
So, I mean, 21 days doesn't even seem that long. It's less than a month. So, like, if you really motivate yourself, in less than a month, you can either stop these habits or, like, pick up a new good habit.
Absolutely.
Again, instead of dropping the habits, it's that switch, like I mentioned.
Like, your life doesn't have to be boring. You just have to switch it. Like me, whenever I get back home from work, I usually just, like, laid down in my bed and went through my phone and then just watched TikToks or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I picked up the habit of reading again. And I did, oh my gosh, I finished Addie LaRue. I read Gone Girl again. I finished Midnight Sun. And now I'm reading the Shadow and Bone series.
Oh, okay. I think I saw that.
I know. And I'm like,
I think on your Twitter.
Yes. Don't look at it. But that's what I was trying to say. That it was just a thing that I started doing. And now it's a habit that I'm reading. If I'm not, like, while I'm cooking, I don't check my phone. I'm reading. Because I am so, like, into the book.
Yeah, and that's what I miss. I remember when I was younger and I would read books. I mean, I started reading, for example, like The Hunger Games, because in college I had a really cool professor that used comic books and, like, those kind of fiction.
Like YA.
Yeah, like fiction, but not so fiction, because you connect them to real, world. And The Hunger Games was one of the, like, reports that I had to do, and I had heard of the book before, and I knew it was a trilogy, and I was just like, okay, let's try it out. I mean, I have to do it for school anyways. As soon as I started reading it, I could not put it down. I finished it. I did my report, A++. And then I just continued with the rest of the books.
Because
and then
you're like picada, so you need to finish it. That's what happened to me back in high school with one of my English teachers. She just started talking about, like, Swedish books and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I picked up this book, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And I was like, it's going to be like any other book. What if... Girl, now I even have a tattoo of the girl, that's how I finished those 3 books, and each book has like over 800 pages. I finished those in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's because you don't, and that's what I missed about, like, getting excited about what's next and what's coming, and and that's why I feel like reading books is so stimulating, and it could be like one of the best habits that you can pick up.
Yeah.
Because it's not only, okay, it calms you down. For example, me, I have anxiety, so whenever I read it, it's like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen? Like, I'm redirecting my anxiety to, like, in a good note, which sounds weird, because you're like, anxiety can never be good, but tricks on you, because it can. So now it's like, I'm always looking forward to getting home so I can read and I can know what's going on. And then after that, that's when you go to sleep and you get tired, because your mind is getting so stimulated, and it's being so, like, what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to read this. Okay, let me reread it because I wasn't focusing. Like it's just, and then you can light up a candle. You can like
relax.
Relax. You do relax.
It's like a little what would you call it? Oh my God, what's the word?
Me time, relaxation.
No. I just had it in my freaking head and then
pampering.
No.
You gotta give me something.
I'm sorry. Yeah, just being able to pick up a book, light some candles, get into that good...
Play some movie scores. That's what I do.
It could be like a good ritual now.
Yes.
That you can just kind of get home and unwind with a good book.
Yes.
Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be... For example, like I mentioned, my Atomic Habits one. Like that one's a kind of like a self-help book. Mm-hmm. And I want to read it, especially like, to be able to kind of do the research for this podcast. Like... find good tips and explain to people like maybe you can do this too. Some people don't like to read, so I can kind of read for them. But then also there's like books, like for example, my friend let me borrow this book. I think it's called A Light in the Sky or something like that.
Okay.
And she's been telling me like, have you read it? And I think I've had the book for years now that she let me borrow it. I know, I'm horrible. And I'm like, no, but I do want to read it. And then I think I read the first chapter and I got into it, but again, I didn't get that into it. So I want to begin to read again, between self-help books, between fiction, between non-fiction, between anything. I think I used to even read like Nancy Drew books, and I guess that's why I'm also like so into freaking true crime. Like little things like that. Again, like the Harry Potter books, like I've read some of them, but I haven't read all of them. I know.
How are we friends?
Disgrace. I'm a disgrace.
You haven't even read all the Twilight books.
Yes, I have. I've read Midnight Sun, because it just came out.
No, it came out last year.
I know, but again, like the other Twilight books, like I had read them, and then Midnight Sun came out. But I mean, I read Midnight Sun, the first 12 chapters when they were released.
She didn't say that. She said that she looked at it respectfully on the internet and decided not to do it. Thank you.
No, I did. And so now that it's finished, like, of course I want to get back into it. So yes, I will begin that ritual of reading after I get back from work.
Yes.
At least that, that hour. I feel that I'll get more tired too. And I've been having trouble sleeping as well. So maybe reading and stimulating my freaking brain is going to not only, help me get tired, but make me smarter. Because apparently I can't fucking think of words right now.
We're over here Googling.
Like, synonyms for ritual.
Let's start with an S.
Yeah, but... to cut this, a little short, I want to do that resolution for like my personal year of getting rid of one bad habit, at least. Mm-hmm. Start with one. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to do all of these bad habits and get rid of them. No, I'm going to start with one, whichever one sticks first. But I do want to make the changes, I want to make the changes in my life because, again, I know that I have so much potential and I'm throwing it all away just staying in bed, and I know I don't have the energy sometimes, or I know that I have so much that I juggle with,
and there's also so many hours in a day. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're putting it in the vision board, and that's why we're putting... Maybe that could be one of the things in your vision board. Reading more and just put a couple of books in there, or whatever.
I'll have like a list maybe, because I do have a list on my phone. Like it's a book list of the things that I want to read.
But in your phone, it just stays there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like having it on paper right in front of you, like right there, it would be a lot better than being like, oh, let me look for this note that I would never think about ever in my life.
I read quotes. Does that count?
Mm-hmm.
I go on Pinterest and read quotes.
Sometimes.
All right. I think that's it for this one. All right. So thanks everyone for listening. You can find Fostering Growth on social media. Our Instagram is fostering.growth.pod. Twitter is at foster_growth with 2 H's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm currently working on a Facebook page because I have been off Facebook for a while and I don't know how it works now.
We would love to hear any of the different ideas you all have about today's episode, and anything else you would like to hear about. Please let us know. If you have an idea for a topic, need some advice, or know of any good book to read or anything else, please just feel free to email us. And the email is fostering.growth.pod@gmail.com.
Yeah, so that's it for today's episode, our first ever episode. Kind of throwing our ideas out there. It's a step forward, into trying to, again, help other people while also helping ourselves.
And it's also meant for being like a conversation. Kind of like you hear us and you're like, oh yeah, I do that too, So just stay positive, stay good, and if not, email us.
All right, thanks everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.